Let me ask you something. If your life stayed exactly the same for the next 5 years, would you be proud or terrified? Because failure doesn't arrive overnight. It sneaks in quietly through comfort, excuses, and average decisions. Most people don't lose in life because they're stupid. They lose because they refuse to face the truth. And the truth is this: you're not unlucky. You're unprepared. Today, I'm going to show you why you're failing in life and exactly how to break free. Comfort is the silent killer of ambition, and most people don't even realize they're addicted to it. They wake up every day surrounded by small conveniences that slowly drain their hunger to win. A soft bed, a familiar routine, easy entertainment, and predictable outcomes create the illusion of safety. But that safety is exactly what keeps people stuck. Comfort doesn't scream at you or force you into failure. It whispers. It tells you that you've done enough, that you deserve rest, that pushing harder can wait. And while you listen to that voice, time keeps moving, opportunities disappear, and life quietly passes you by. The problem with comfort is that it feels good in the moment, but destroys you in the long run. Every time you choose comfort over effort, you train your mind to avoid pressure. You condition yourself to run from difficulty instead of facing it. Over time, this becomes your default behavior. You stop taking risks. You stop challenging yourself. You stop expecting more from your own life. That's how people end up living lives they never planned, working jobs they hate, settling for less money than they deserve, and wondering how they got there. It wasn't one big mistake. It was thousands of small, comfortable choices. Comfort creates procrastination, and procrastination kills potential. When something is hard, uncomfortable, or unfamiliar, the comfortable mind says, "I'll do it later." Later becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And one day you wake up and realize that years have passed and nothing has changed. The gym membership is still unused. The business idea is still just an idea. The goals are still written in a notebook instead of lived in reality. Comfort didn't stop you all at once. It delayed you until your dreams expired. The most dangerous part is that comfort disguises itself as balance and self-care. People say they need rest, peace, and positivity, but what they really mean is they want to avoid discomfort. True growth is never peaceful. Progress is noisy, stressful, and exhausting. Anyone who's built something real knows this. Growth demands sacrifice. It demands early mornings, late nights, and the willingness to be bad at something before becoming good. Comfort lies to you by saying you can have success without struggle. Reality doesn't work that way. When you choose comfort, you also choose weakness. Your mind becomes fragile. Small problems feel overwhelming. Minor setbacks feel like disasters. You start needing perfect conditions to perform. But life doesn't care about your comfort. Life applies pressure whether you're ready or not. If you haven't trained yourself to handle discomfort, pressure will break you. That's why so many people collapse the moment things get hard. They were never forged in difficulty. They lived too softly for too long. Uncomfortable situations are where strength is built. Pressure creates resilience. Resistance creates power. Every time you do something hard that you don't feel like doing, you upgrade your mindset. You prove to yourself that feelings don't control your actions. You show your mind who's in charge. That's how confidence is built, not through positive thinking, but through earned evidence. Comfort gives you excuses. Discomfort gives you results. People who escape average lives all share one trait: they intentionally choose discomfort. They wake up before they feel ready. They work when they're tired. They train when it hurts. They push when quitting would feel easier, not because they enjoy suffering, but because they understand the trade-off. Short-term discomfort buys long-term freedom. Long-term comfort sells your future for temporary pleasure. The choice is always there, every single day. Comfort also keeps you surrounded by average environments. Comfortable conversations, comfortable friends, comfortable beliefs. No one challenges you. No one pushes you. Everyone agrees with you and keeps you feeling safe. But safety doesn't create greatness. Being challenged does. Growth requires friction. You need people and situations that force you to level up or get left behind. Comfort isolates you from that necessary friction. Breaking free from comfort means changing how you see pain. Pain is not the enemy. Avoiding pain is. Pain is feedback. Pain is proof that you're stretching beyond who you were yesterday. When your muscles burn, they're growing. When your mind resists discipline, it's being rewired. When your ego feels uncomfortable, it's being reshaped. Every high-performing person has learned to respect pain, not fear it. Comfort also steals your sense of urgency. When life feels easy, you assume you have time. You think you'll get serious later, but later is a lie. Time is ruthless. It doesn't slow down because you're not ready. The people who win move with urgency because they understand that comfort is temporary, but regret can last forever. They'd rather suffer now than suffer later. If you feel stuck, unfulfilled, or behind in life, there's a high chance you're living too comfortably. Your routines are too soft. Your standards are too low. Your days don't demand enough from you. And until that changes, nothing else will. New information won't save you. New motivation won't save you. Only deliberate discomfort will. Choosing discomfort means doing the opposite of what your lazy mind suggests. It means getting up when you want to stay down. Speaking up when staying silent feels safer. Investing in yourself when spending on pleasure feels easier. It means chasing progress instead of peace. Not forever, but long enough to build a life where peace is earned, not borrowed. The uncomfortable path is the only path that leads out of failure. Every step away from comfort is a step towards strength. Every hard day is a deposit into your future. Comfort makes today easier. Discomfort makes tomorrow better. And the people who understand this don't wait for motivation. They move anyway. Most people don't fail because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity. They fail because they rely on motivation instead of discipline. Motivation is emotional. It rises when things feel exciting and disappears the moment discomfort shows up. Discipline is different. Discipline is cold, reliable, and ruthless. It doesn't care how you feel. It only cares about what needs to be done. And that difference is why so many people start strong and finish nowhere. Motivation comes from external triggers, videos, speeches, quotes, music, praise. It gives you a temporary high. You feel unstoppable for a few hours, maybe a few days. You make big promises to yourself. You set ambitious goals. But then reality hits. You wake up tired. Progress is slow. Results don't come fast enough. And suddenly the fire is gone. When motivation fades, most people stop. That's the trap. They confuse a feeling with a system. Feelings are unstable. Systems are not. Discipline is built in silence. No music, no hype, no applause. It's the ability to execute when nothing feels inspiring, when your body is heavy, when your mind is distracted, when quitting would bring instant relief. Discipline is choosing the long-term reward over the short-term escape again and again, until it becomes part of your identity. That's why disciplined people look unstoppable. They're not stronger emotionally. They're stronger structurally. A motivated person waits to feel ready. A disciplined person moves whether they're ready or not. Life doesn't reward potential. It rewards output. And output only comes from consistent action. You don't get fit by feeling motivated. You get fit by showing up on the days you don't want to train. You don't build wealth by feeling inspired. You build it by doing boring, repetitive work for years. Discipline turns ordinary actions into extraordinary results. The uncomfortable truth is that motivation often becomes an excuse. People say they're waiting for the right mood, the right time, or the right energy. What they're really doing is avoiding responsibility. They want to feel good before they act. Discipline flips that equation. You act first, and the good feeling comes later. Confidence, clarity, and momentum are byproducts of action, not prerequisites. Discipline understands this. Motivation ignores it. Discipline also protects you from yourself. Your mind is not designed to push you toward long-term success. It's designed to seek comfort, pleasure, and safety. Left unchecked, it will always choose the easiest option. Discipline is the structure you build to override that instinct. Fixed wake-up times, non-negotiable work blocks, daily training, clear rules. When discipline is strong, you don't negotiate with yourself. You execute. That eliminates hesitation, and hesitation is where most dreams die. People underestimate how much mental energy is wasted on decision-making. Should I work today or rest? Should I train or skip? Should I focus or scroll? Discipline removes those questions. The decision has already been made. You work because that's what you do. You train because that's who you are. When actions become automatic, progress accelerates. Motivation can't do that. It's too inconsistent. Discipline also builds self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Every time you break one, it erodes. Most people struggle with self-belief not because they've failed publicly, but because they've betrayed themselves privately. Discipline repairs that damage. It rebuilds trust between you and your word. Over time, you stop needing external validation because you know you can rely on yourself. That inner stability is powerful. The irony is that discipline creates free freedom. At first, it feels restrictive. Early mornings, strict routines, limited distractions. But over time, discipline gives you options. Financial freedom comes from disciplined saving and investing. Physical freedom comes from disciplined training and nutrition. Time freedom comes from disciplined focus and execution. Motivation offers excitement. Discipline delivers results, and results change lives. Discipline is also what separates talkers from builders. Everyone has goals. Everyone has dreams. Few people have the discipline to do the unglamorous work required to reach them. The work that doesn't get likes. The work that no one sees. The work that feels slow and repetitive. That's where discipline lives. That's where real progress is made. Anyone can show up when it's exciting. Only disciplined people show up when it's boring. Many people believe discipline is something you're born with. That's a lie. Discipline is trained. It starts small. One habit, one promise, one daily action. You don't overhaul your life in a day. You prove to yourself repeatedly that you can do hard things even when you don't feel like it. Each win strengthens the muscle. Each excuse weakens it. Over time, discipline becomes your default response. The world constantly encourages distraction, endless entertainment, instant gratification, shortcuts. Motivation thrives in that environment because it feeds on stimulation. Discipline struggles at first because it requires restraint. But once discipline is established, distractions lose their power. You stop chasing dopamine and start chasing progress. Your focus sharpens, your standards rise, your tolerance for wasted time disappears. Discipline also keeps you moving during uncertainty. Motivation needs clarity and excitement. Discipline works in chaos, when you don't know if it will work, when results are delayed, when doubt creeps in. Discipline says, do the work anyway. That's why disciplined people outlast talented but inconsistent ones. Consistency beats intensity every time. If you want to change your life, stop asking how to feel more motivated. Ask how to build stronger discipline. Build routines that don't depend on emotion. Build habits that survive bad days. Build rules that protect your time and energy. Motivation will come and go. Discipline will stay. And when discipline is in place, success becomes inevitable, not optional. Most people stay broke not because the world is unfair, because their thinking is small, limited, and conditioned to survive instead of dominate. They dream in tiny numbers, set safe goals, and aim for comfort instead of leverage. From a young age, they're taught to avoid risk, follow instructions, and be grateful for stability. That mindset might keep you alive, but it will never make you powerful. Financial struggle is often a reflection of mental ceilings, not external circumstances. Small thinking shows up in how people talk. They say things like, I just need enough, or money isn't everything, or I'm not greedy. These statements sound humble, but they hide fear. Fear of responsibility, fear of failure, fear of standing out. Big money requires big problems, and big problems require big thinking. If you only aim for comfort, you'll never develop the capacity to create value at scale. Wealth doesn't come from playing small and hoping for luck. It comes from solving difficult problems that most people avoid. People who think small trade time for money and then wonder why they're stuck. There are only so many hours in a day, and when your income is tied directly to your time, your potential is capped. That's not freedom. That's a financial cage. The shift happens when you stop asking, how can I get paid more? And start asking, how can I create more value? Value scales. Time doesn't. Until that mindset changes, income will always have a ceiling. Another trap of small thinking is chasing quick wins instead of long-term leverage. People want fast cash, shortcuts, and overnight success. They jump from idea to idea, looking for the easiest path, not the strongest foundation. But real wealth is built slowly through skills that compound. Skills like communication, sales, leadership, negotiation, and problem solving. These are uncomfortable to learn because they expose weaknesses. That's why most people avoid them and stay stuck at the same income level year after year. Small thinking also avoids accountability. It's easier to blame the economy, the market, or circumstances than to admit you haven't upgraded yourself. The market doesn't pay effort. It pays results. If you're underpaid, it's feedback, not an insult. It means your current skill set isn't rare or valuable enough. Once you accept that without ego, growth becomes possible. Once you reject it, stagnation becomes permanent. People with bigger financial outcomes think in terms of ownership, not just income. They look for ways to build assets, systems, and influence. They understand that money flows toward those who control attention, distribution, or solutions. Small thinkers wait to be paid. Big thinkers design ways to be paid repeatedly. That difference alone separates survival from abundance. Fear keeps people thinking small. Fear of losing money. Fear of being judged. Fear of making the wrong move. But fear doesn't disappear when you avoid risk, it grows. The only way to shrink fear is to expand competence. Learning high-income skills, studying how money moves, and putting yourself in rooms where higher standards exist forces your thinking to expand. Exposure changes perspective. Once you see what's possible, small goals start to feel insulting. If you want to stop being broke, you must stop thinking like someone who's trying to get by. You have to think like someone who's building something bigger than themselves. That shift doesn't happen overnight, but it starts the moment you stop playing small and start demanding more from your mind, your skills, and your actions. Comfort is the most subtle enemy you will ever face because it doesn't look like danger. It feels harmless, even deserved. After a long day, comfort tells you to rest instead of push. After a small win, it tells you to relax instead of raise the standard. Over time, these moments stack up and slowly reshape who you are. You stop chasing growth and start protecting ease. You don't notice it happening because nothing feels wrong in the moment, but that's exactly how comfort traps you. When comfort becomes your default, effort starts to feel abnormal. Hard work feels extreme. Discipline feels unnecessary. You begin to believe that life should always feel balanced, calm, and stress-free. But progress has never been built in comfort. Every meaningful upgrade in life requires tension. Muscles grow under resistance. Skills sharpen under pressure. Character is formed when things are difficult, and there is no easy way out. Comfort removes that resistance, and without resistance, nothing grows. The real danger of comfort is that it lowers your standards without you realizing it. You begin to accept average results because they don't hurt. You tolerate mediocrity because it's familiar. You stay in situations that don't fulfill you because leaving would be uncomfortable. That's how people end up stuck for years, not because they can't do better, but because doing better would require short-term pain. Comfort teaches you to avoid pain at all costs, even when that pain is the price of freedom. Comfort also kills urgency. When life feels manageable, you assume you have time. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, next month, or next year. But time doesn't slow down because you're comfortable. Days pass quietly, then months, then years. One day you look back and realize you've been busy but not progressing. Comfort kept you occupied but not advancing. It gave you routines instead of results. Another trap of comfort is distraction. Easy pleasure is everywhere: screens, entertainment, endless content, quick dopamine. These things aren't evil, but in excess they dull your hunger. They make hard work feel less appealing and deep focus feel exhausting. When your brain is used to constant stimulation, silence feels uncomfortable and discomfort feels unbearable. That's why most people avoid deep work and meaningful effort. Comfort has trained their minds to crave ease instead of achievement. Living comfortably also weakens your tolerance for adversity. Small problems feel big. Minor setbacks feel personal. When you're not used to discomfort, pressure feels overwhelming. But life will apply pressure whether you're ready or not. The people who handle it well are not luckier, they're trained. They voluntarily stepped into difficulty so often that hardship no longer shocks them. Comfort robs you of that preparation. Choosing discomfort doesn't mean suffering without purpose. It means deliberately doing the things that strengthen you even when they feel inconvenient. It means waking up earlier than necessary, working when no one is watching, and pushing through resistance instead of escaping it. Each time you do that, you expand your capacity. What once felt hard becomes normal. What once felt impossible becomes routine. If you feel stuck, unfulfilled, or behind, it's worth asking an honest question: is your life too comfortable? Are your days demanding enough from you? Growth requires pressure, and pressure requires discomfort. The moment you stop avoiding what's hard and start leaning into it, comfort loses its control. That's when real change begins. The real problem has never been a lack of opportunity, talent, or potential. The problem is the invisible prison built by comfort, weak discipline, and small thinking. These forces quietly shape daily decisions, convincing people to choose ease over effort, feelings over structure, and safety over growth. When these patterns repeat, failure stops feeling like a crisis and starts feeling normal. The solution begins with awareness, recognizing that what feels good now may be destroying what could be great later. Once you see the problem clearly, you stop blaming the world and start correcting the system you've been living in. The way forward is not complicated, but it is demanding. Comfort must be replaced with intentional discomfort. Motivation must be replaced with unbreakable discipline. Small thinking must be replaced with skill building, value creation, and long-term vision. These are not abstract ideas, they are practical solutions that work when applied daily. Wake up earlier. Do the hard task first. Remove distractions. Learn skills that increase your value. Set standards that don't bend when emotions change. These actions directly solve the problem of stagnation by forcing momentum where there was none. Breaking free also requires ownership. No more excuses. No more waiting for the perfect moment. The solution is to take responsibility for every result in your life and respond with action instead of emotion. When something doesn't work, you adjust. When you fail, you learn. When progress is slow, you stay consistent. This mindset transforms problems into feedback and obstacles into training. The moment you stop seeing difficulty as punishment and start seeing it as preparation, you regain control of your direction. The final solution is commitment to a higher standard for your life. Not a temporary burst of effort, but a permanent shift in how you operate. When discipline becomes your foundation, discomfort becomes familiar, and your thinking expands, failure loses its grip. Progress becomes predictable. Confidence becomes earned, and freedom becomes achievable. The problem was never that you couldn't win. It was that you were playing by rules designed to keep you average. Change the rules, and the outcome changes with them. Thank you for giving your time, your attention, and your energy. If this message challenged you, that means it did its job. Remember this, nothing changes unless you do. The moment you close this video, life will test whether these words were just entertainment or a turning point. Choose wisely, because your future is shaped by what you do next, not what you just heard. Goodbye for now, but not the kind that forgets. Take this with you. Comfort is expensive, discipline is freedom, and responsibility is power. Every day you delay is a day you donate to regret. Every hard choice you make today becomes strength tomorrow. Stop waiting for the right time. You become unstoppable the moment you decide to act without permission. Until next time, stay hungry. Stay focused and stay dangerous with your goals. No excuses, no shortcuts, no retreat. Goodbye, and go build the life you know you deserve.